Time to find out what is making a buzz in the media now. Emma James is here with our daily dose of Media Watch. Good to see you, Emma.
Hi there.
And the public anger over the fate of migrant children who've been separated from their parents in the United States very much continuing, even after Trump signed that executive order last night.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of people saying that there are still many questions to answer and that really hasn't yet gone far enough. Now, Time magazine has come up with the front page that many people are sharing online. It is a very powerful image. The words simply say, "Welcome to America." And of course, you have there Donald Trump looking down at the small child. Obviously, this is mocked up. They weren't really next to each other. That is a small child crying, photographed at the Mexican-US border, having been separated from her mother, I believe it was. So that is an image that Time magazine certainly thinks sums up what is going on in America today. Now, of course, despite that executive order, the political storm hasn't blown over. Melania Trump has actually flown down to the border today. And some people are applauding this move, including this woman, an Australian journalist, who says, instead of crying fake news, Melania Trump is visiting the US-Mexico border to see what is real. Her husband should take note. Lindsey Graham, the Republican senator, says that it's great to see her on the ground in Texas. She represents our country so well and has had great influence on this very difficult issue.
She wasn't there very long, if I could just...
No, indeed.
She's already back in Washington.
Indeed. Strong borders, tough laws and a good heart are not mutually exclusive, says Lindsey Graham. There is a lot of questioning about how much this is meant to be spin, and also people questioning whether any of the children that were at that centre had actually been separated from their parents. Some people saying all of them had crossed the border as unaccompanied minors, others saying that it was around 90% were unaccompanied. So it's a very small number, if any at all.
6 or 7 children, I believe.
Yes, that's
from their parents.
But there are quite a few people who believe that that's not actually true. I'm not in a position to verify that myself. Walter Schaub had some strong words too. Now, he was the former federal ethics chief. He says this photo op press conference is a load of CRAP. This is the biggest flim-flam con job. Shame on everyone involved. And it's interesting to see that The Atlantic has this take on the role of Melania Trump. Clearly, she's been brought in to try to spin this a little bit.
Because she's been out of the public eye for a long time.
Absolutely. Now, she did speak out on this issue, saying that she hates to see children separated from their parents. But The Atlantic is describing her as playing the role of a medieval queen, which does seem a little bit odd at first glance. But what they're talking about is that in medieval times, people who were in trouble would appeal to the queen for mercy. And that is the role that she is playing. And for them, they believe this is really about portraying Donald Trump in a better light, not saying that he's necessarily sympathetic, but showing that he hasn't had to back down. He's not showing political weakness. He is merely listening to his very kind-hearted wife.
That's what he said, isn't it? His wife and his daughter talked him out of it.
Absolutely. Now, there is one very strange addendum to Melania Trump's visit. When she boarded the flight to head down to Texas, she was wearing a $39 coat from Zara, not her usual choice. And on the left, you can see the slogan clearly, "I really don't care."
It really said that?
It really said that. You can see on the right-hand side the writing. You just can't make it out. That is apparently what it really says. And now, by the time she arrived, she'd taken it off and looking more sartorially elegant, as you would expect. But a lot of people wondering what exactly that message was supposed to convey.
It's a bit like the high heels she put on before she went to see the flooded areas in Texas, I remember. Despite signing this order last night, there are still a lot of concerns about what it means for the hundreds of children who have already been separated from their parents, because they're supposed to be ending the policy, but we don't know when they will be reunited with their mums and dads.
Absolutely, because that executive order made no mention of the 2,300 children who've already been separated from their parents. Vox, among those reporting on this, saying that it doesn't address the issue, that they won't be reunited with their parents straight away. The other thing to note as well is that it's not actually yet in force, so nobody really knows whether these separations are continuing right now. But what they talk about here is that Immigration lawyers are saying that the government doesn't have a coherent process for reuniting these families or even putting the children and their parents in contact right now. And a lot of people are concerned about this, including there's a very moving article in the Washington Post written by a public defender who says that his clients are not at all worried about what criminal charges they may face. All they want to know is where their children are. And he says even the judges in federal courts are becoming incredulous with the cavalier attitude that these children are being treated. When an agent couldn't give information about one of the defendant's children and its whereabouts, the judge said, if someone at the jail takes your wallet, they give you a receipt, they take your kids and you get nothing, not even a slip of paper. So a lot of people wondering what on earth is going on with these policies right now.
Emma, thank you very much indeed. Emma James there.